Morning, Marvin. Thanks for your time this morning. Quick introduction, who are you?
Marvin, Director of Infinity Energy. I run a energy efficient installing / funding company based in London, but we install internationally, reducing the carbon footprint of UK.
Perfect. And you've been working with me for a little while, probably it's about 5 or 6 months, early stages of implementing the entrepreneurial operating system. So tell me, in these challenging times that we're facing at the moment, how has working with EOS in your teams helped you?
What it has done is it's put structure in the leadership team, and they're still getting on with it. They're still having their meetings. They're still overcoming issues, and believe it or not, I think it helped us act very quickly and get settled down very quickly.
Yeah.
I think we had the team up and running within 24 hours of lockdown, and we were still up and running as a business. I think it would have been chaos prior to this.
Yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. So for you, if you'd say what's the tool that's most helped you during this time, what would you say it would be?
I think the best tool ever is the level 10. It's still happening. It's still we're still talking about issues like today. We've got our level 10 at 11 o'clock, and believe it or not, there's less issues coming out. I thought there'd be more issues working from home psychologically, but everyone's mindset is
okay, so it's providing that forum for the left hand and the right hand to come together on a frequent basis, and actually the issues get dealt with, knocked down and going away. So you've just got a regular pulse that's going on. It almost feels like business as usual because you've got an infrastructure behind you.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been running on EOS?
We started with EOS in December of 2019. Mm-hmm. That was our first session.
Yeah, so we're roughly 4 or 5 months in at this point in time.
4 or 5 months in.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And why did you decide to implement EOS?
Well, it's that phrase that you commonly use. I hit the ceiling, and I was battling with my leadership team or my seniors to get through that ceiling because there was a lot of maybe politicking in there, a lot of 7 years worth of. I've got the same senior team for 7 years, and obviously relations are built and they're interlocking each other. I thought, right, we need a third party now to probably emphasize what I've always been saying, but obviously with the relationship, they don't listen to the MD anymore.
So 3 or 4 months in, and we've had 3 sessions together. What do you think are the top 3 benefits that firstly you've personally gained from this experience?
The senior team have actually bought into the concept. They're actually enjoying it. I think self-belief has come back, which again, like I said, they're actually looking forward to the sessions and they're looking forward to the meetings, and they're actually seeing results in the sense there's issues that are dealt with, which normally we're brushed underneath the carpet. Mm-hmm. And structure. I mean, they're just getting on with it. I mean, it's really pleasing to see as an owner of the business or the director of the business that they're getting on with it, and they're putting their views forward honestly instead of hiding behind the scenes.
Okay, so a couple of things pulling out. You're feeling it that they've actually stepped up in terms of accountability for the seats that they sit in, that they're coming to you, resolving the problems as opposed to just letting them harbour. And secondly, I'm hearing that you feel that there's a much deeper trust that's been created because people are actually able to say what they think now, whereas before.
Absolutely, yeah. Before they couldn't do that.
Oh, brilliant! In terms of benefits, how would you describe how EOS has actually benefited you during this period of time?
Really and truly structure. I actually trust my team that they're not messing around at home. Mm-hmm. They're actually working because we could see it.
Yeah.
And just by the questions and interaction throughout the day, it's like we're still in the office, but we're not in the office, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting on with it. And really and truly, I think the key benefit of even with the EOS is structure. Yeah. The element of trust has risen.
Yeah.
the element that the sense also is they all want to be in a job, not furloughed or parked aside, and not worrying that they'd have a job after this crisis is over, because we don't know how long this is going to go on.
Yeah.
So it's like an office within the office, but we're not in the office. I mean, even myself as a director think, hey, do I really need an office now to pay the rent?
Okay, well, yeah, I was actually talking with your wife Rita, who sits in one of the seats in your team earlier on in the week, and we were talking about, given that you've got such a strong culture, and some of the things that you're thinking about in the future when you've been talking about your vision component of EOS, is about saying this working in the office, it could change quite significantly your vision for positive. Okay, so last question for you, Marvin. What one piece of advice would you give to fellow business leaders who are struggling in the way that you were, and they might be aware of EOS, but they're not sure whether to go on the journey yet? What one piece of advice would you give them?
Well, we as directors or owners or founders of any business come to a point where, even though we've got very loyal staff, basically you're hitting the ceiling. If you want to go forward, then you need help, because we do live or work in a very lonely environment as directors, and we need. I think that the EOS actually portrays how of a lonely life we have, even though we sit in that seat, and the senior team kind of appreciates that. Oh shit, look what my director's going through, or look what my MD's going through, let's help him. And that ethos totally changed, I would say, in the last 6 months, since we started the EOS with my senior team. Now I've seen it.
But I guess in one sense for you personally, that's actually sort of it's taking some pressure off your shoulders.
Absolutely, and that was the point. And a lot of directors get locked into that hustle and bustle of the day-to-day operation, because they're all they're doing is trying to quash problems. Where you've got team to do that. So I would tell any fellow director, co-owner, try it out. Like I said, we tried a session with you, and we had the team in there, and the staff liked you. Said, okay, do we invest? Don't we invest? I didn't make that decision, and they said yes. And the way I viewed it was, I'm spending coaching and developing on each of my senior team, so that's the money well spent.
Yeah, great. Marvin, thank you very much, sir, and I'm looking forward to continuing on the journey with you. Thank you, really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Okay.